howdy y'all. Welcome to what I hope is the first of many editions of Steph Says Things. This is going to be a blog where I generally meta at you basically for roughly 10 minutes. I am going to do my best to keep them under 10 minutes about whatever fandom or movie kind of tickles my fancy. This time, I'm going to talk to you about Frozen. For those of you who may have no idea what I'm talking about, possibly because you've been living under a rock since Thanksgiving, Frozen is Disney Animated Studios' newest feature film. It is chronicling the story of two princesses, Elsa and Anna. Elsa, who is the elder sister, is gifted with the ability to control ice and snow. The film is her journey as well as Anna's coming of age story. No one knows about Elsa's ability, even her own younger sister, and during her coronation things kind of go down. So with that probably very horrible little snippet about what the film is about, let's just jump right into the 5 reasons why I love Frozen and why you should too. First and foremost, I love it because of the nods to the original story it's based on. Frozen is based off of the Hans Christian Andersen story, The Snow Queen. I really couldn't make that story into a plausible Disney movie, given how many layers it had. It's really hard for me to give you a little snippet of what The Snow Queen is about. There'll be a link in the description to a decent summary if you want to learn more about some of the specifics of The Snow Queen. It's a really great and interesting story. Items that for me, were really cool things that they nodded towards. In the original story, they talk about this mirror created by the devil that, when looked at, reflect the worst things back at you. So it's basically like the mirror of Horatia flipped on its head. And in the beginning of the story, it shatters and the pieces of glass spread all over the world. And there's this one little boy named Kai who gets a shard in his eye, as well as in his heart. See where I'm going with this? In Frozen, Anna doesn't start out not knowing about Elsa's ability. When they're very young, it's kind of a secret. They have their own little winter wonderland in the ballroom, and at one point, Anna is moving too fast for Elsa to create snow mounds to catch her, and Anna gets clipped in the head with a shard of ice, which gives her the nice little white streak in her hair. And this isn't too spoilery. This happens within the first 5 minutes, so I don't count that as a spoiler. They touch on it in some of the promotional information as well, and they also talk about later in the film, Elsa, and again, this happens purely by accident, hits Anna in the chest with an ice shard and gets her in the heart. I love how they twist what happens. I'm not going to tell you at this point. It's spoilery. I'm going to save all those spoilers for the end. This is number 2 why I love Frozen. The music. I can't even with Let It Go. I mean, it's a pure diva number. Anita Menzel, really. Anyone else who grew up in the late 90s, who knows about Rent, Wicked, you know who Anita Menzel is. You know that bitch can belt. Now that I got the big ticket number out of the way. In every Disney princess movie, there's always an I Want song. Snow White has Someday My Prince Will Come. Ariel has Part of Your World. In this one, there's a really great number called For the First Time in Forever. It's really Anna just expressing her happiness at, being around other people. She's been isolated all this time, and get into the why she's isolated a little later in the video. There's a lot of longing there, and it comes across really well in a really positive way for how crappy a situation it is. If you've seen a lot of the more recent Disney movies during the Disney Renaissance, and then now with like Tangled, you'll recognize a lot of the same musical style because they have the same composer working on a lot of the different films. This time is very different because we have a brand new pair of songwriters working on Frozen, and it shows. I love Little Mermaid. I love, all of the ones from the Disney Renaissance, the movies I grew up with. They're forever my favorite. But, after a decade, it's really refreshing to have a completely different sound. The third reason I love this movie is the animation. I'll put a link in the description of this, but during Let It Go, and Anita talked about this before the movie even came out, so again, this isn't spoilery, there's a part in the movie where she's building her castle of ice in the mountains away from Arendelle. So beautifully animated. Just the way the ice moves, and when she creates the snow, it's just gorgeous. Not even just that, just all of the little detail-y things. Anna's freckles, oh my god, Anna's freckles. I'm an art lover, so when I see things like this, I just get all excited because animation has come so far. The animation of the snow itself is gorgeous. I was born and raised, and still live in Wisconsin. Snowy ass country. We are hardy motherfuckers. Let's just put it that way. So I know what snow looks like, how it acts, and what it does to your clothes and how it sticks to you. And the way that was done in the film is amazing. It blows my mind that this is animated. Now, I'm getting into the spoilery stuff. My last 2 points are chock full of spoilers, and I'm not really going to mince. So, if you don't want to know about the film, about how it ends, stop watching. Alright, people who don't want spoilers are now gone. Let's get into the last 2 reasons, which are my favorites. Gonna kind of roll them in together. 4 is the true love of family, and 5 is just Anna and Elsa themselves. Alright, let me start with Anna and Elsa. Oh, they're amazing. And not just because they're voiced by incredible people. You know, Kristen Bell and Anita Menzel do incredible jobs with the voices, and not just with the singing. Just the personality they bring to these 2 characters is amazing. The thing that I love about the 2 of them, more than anything really, is I can identify with them for different reasons. Elsa a lot more than Anna. Who doesn't know what it feels like to have a talent that you have hidden, and to finally get to a place where you can just let it shine and revel in the fact of who you are. And yeah, some of that may be I'm seeing the LGBT undertones in that, coming out story from people thinking you're straight to coming out to being, LGBT. It's really easy to see just from that perspective why I would love Elsa. But it's more than that. There's a line that gets repeated. It's conceal, don't feel. I really do believe that up until the end of the film, Elsa is really driven by fear. You really see how that changes over the course of the film, because Elsa was raised with this fear that she had to control her ability. And because she was so afraid of hurting someone, she really didn't have control. It's just so terribly sad to me that instead of, helping Elsa learn to control her ability, they just basically told her, ignore it and it'll go away. Which of course it was never going to. And on the other hand, you have Anna, who, as a result of her parents' decision, they completely shut off the palace. And in doing so, they leave Anna completely isolated with just a small amount of servants and her immediate family. She doesn't get a lot of interaction with people. And as the film goes on, you really do see them grow. You see Anna learning to be an independent person, learning to be among people, and, her faith in her sister is really what carries through the movie. And you see after a while it reaching Elsa. And that's where the true love of family is really what makes me love this movie. Because for Disney, true love is always this big thing. From True Love's kiss waking Snow White to True Love's kiss, giving Ariel her legs. It's everywhere, and it's always romantic love. It's always about guy meets girl, fall in love, and the power of that love saves the day. What I love about Frozen is even though Anna meets 2 different guys, it is not her love for one of them that saves the day. It's her love for her sister. What I love most is that, the only way that Anna could save herself was act of true love. Disney's always kind of trained us that that has to be true love's kiss. It has to be someone else acting on her behalf out of true love. I love that in the context of the film, it was Anna committing an act of true love. Her decision to sacrifice herself for her older sister so that she could live, even if it meant turning to solid ice. And that is ultimately what saved her. The fact that she was going to protect her sister and that she loved her so much. And through that, Elsa watches Anna come back basically from the dead, as also happens a lot of time. Keeping in that true love theme where true love will save you from death. And that's how Elsa realizes that's how she can control her power. She's been driven by fear for so long, it never occurred to her that love would be the way to control it. There's something very liberating about having someone else love you exactly the way you are. Early in the film, when Anna realizes again that Elsa has a power, has the ability to control ice and snow, there's a minute where Anna's afraid, and then it doesn't matter. It's still her sister. She still loves her. And that carries through the entire film. Anna never stops having faith in her sister that she can save, that she can stop all of the things that are going on. She never stops loving her because she's different. There are a lot of people out there who may not understand this, but it hit me right where I live. It hit me straight in the field. Because it's so powerful to have somebody say to you, I love you just the way you are. You're still the same person. And that can mean so much to somebody out there who is struggling. With that, I'm going to wrap up here. Next week, tune in where I start my other new segment. It's called Steph's Jewelry Box. I will be going through and making jewelry that is fandom inspired. Tune in next Saturday for my Game of Thrones House Stark inspired bracelet. Until then, fangirl on.